18. We've got how many kids? How many people? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have 8 players. It says another player joins. What must the age of the new player be so that the mean is now 27? Okay, so let's start with an answer here. Let's start with a value, and then we'll work backwards, and you can tell us how you came up with it. Kate, what do you come up with? 35 years old, okay. And can you break down like how you approach that, please? So you have 208 was your sum, okay? And say that last part again, because that was, okay. Okay, so the mean of these ones you're saying is 26. Okay? That would work. All right, anybody have a different approach or angle for doing that? Aiden? All right, I like equations. X. So you want to equal 27? So 208 plus the new player, divide that by 9, and that should equal 27. He's finding the mean that way. Okay, now how do you take this apart, Aiden? Yep. Yeah, so what do we get? 243. Yeah, so this sum, so we have 208 plus x equals 243, and then subtract your 208, and there's your 35 from there. Okay, so yeah, that's another approach that we could certainly take with that. Did anyone take 9? Well, actually, I like both of these. We're just going to go with those. Let's look at the last part. The median age is now 25. So what'd you come up with for the new player's age? Cameron? 20, okay. Let's see if this works. If I start putting these things in order, 20 would be the least or the lowest age, right? And then we have 21. If I miss one, guys, let me know. 23, 25, 2 25s, 6. Did I get them all? Good? Okay, so the median is 25. There are 9 numbers, so we look for the one right in the middle, and that's going to be 25. So Cameron's age of 20 works. However, a rule? So could I put a 25 in somewhere? So if I got rid of, well, let me squeeze it. Oh, forgot I got the eraser here. Squeeze a 25 in here. So 25, another 25. So I still have 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, that would work. The lazy way? An infant joins the squad? I can't imagine that infant would be that valuable. Might be dangerous. Brooke? Well, that's a good question. She said, could it be anything? What do you think? Do you think anything, Aiden? Oh, yeah, thank you. Not anything? Why? So let me get rid of this here. I'm going back to the original set. So this was the original 8 players. So Aiden's saying if it's anything over 25, it's going to mess this up. So let me just put a number out here at the end, like another 31. Now the median would be 26. If I put a 26 in there, same thing, it's going to give you that mean of 26. If I put any other number in here, he's right. So any person 25 or less would give you that value. All right. Now, for your sake, guys, the analysis of this, I would want something along those lines in terms of your explanation. I want you to think about that from a broader set and just say, okay, anything 25 or less, not like a rule said. I went with 0. All right. I want a little bit more comprehensive look at that. Okay? All right, so here's some analysis. A real estate guide lists the average home prices for counties in your state. Do you think the mean, median, or mode would be the most useful average for home buyers? So this one would of course come with a justification of why. For home buyers, how many of you said mean? Anybody say median? Anybody say mode? We got a little bit of everything on this. All right, well, let's defend our position here. Some of you might say, well, I don't really want to defend it. I don't know if it's right or not. It's all right. Anybody want to defend what they said? What do you think, Nadia? Yeah, so like it's the median, or I'm sorry, it's the average home prices for counties in your state. You know, I think all the different counties in your state. So we would say, okay, in Allegheny County, whatever, the mean price is this, and then you go to another county like Butler County, and the average price is this, etc. So Nadia is saying, well, I'm going to go with median because of the potential for, like she said, these mansions that are going to raise home values, possibly. Okay? Do you think, let's ask this, do you think that the average home, like mean, would be closer to like those millions of dollar homes, or the ones that are kind of in a bad state and cheaper? Do you think the mean would be closer to the lower end or closer to the higher end? Basically what I'm asking is, do you think we have more of the, or is the $1 million homes enough to draw the mean towards that, or is it still going to be closer to the lower end? Kate? Mm-hmm. I love it that she just she just criticized Buffalo, and I love it. No, I would do the same. Yeah, my feelings about Buffalo are not flattering. So there is going to be a difference. She's absolutely right. Yeah, go to like New York City, the Hamptons, those areas like that have really high home values, and then you go to Buffalo. Nobody in here's family is from Buffalo, right? Oh, I can't believe, Kate, you'd say something about Buffalo. Okay, all right. Mara's about to throw something. You better watch it. All right, is your family from Buffalo, really? Oh, okay. Does he still live there? Oh, all right. Well, I went to school in New York, like not New York City, but like upstate New York, my college, I mean. And it was kind of near Buffalo. So I don't always have like fond memories of Buffalo because it snows like 13 months of the year in Buffalo, I feel like. All right, anytime you go to Buffalo, there's snow on the ground and it's cold. So I'm not always a fan of Buffalo. But hey, Mara, I'm sure it's a beautiful place to grow up in. Kate, come on now. That's insensitive. All right. So you think about it from that perspective. I like the idea that, you're going to have home values that do draw it up. And we've always said if if you have outliers, possibly, you want to stick more towards the median in that case. If we said mode might be difficult because what are the chances that the mean in these counties, you're going to have counties that have the exact same mean? Probably not many, or not a high chance of that. So I don't think mode is going to work in this case, and I think we would avoid mean for that very reason. Okay? Arul, do you want to add something? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Absolutely. Okay. You know, if we isolated this like to Mount Lebanon, I think when we were doing, what were we doing, like percent increase or something like that. Remember I brought up the average home value, I think, in Mount Lebanon, and I thought it was right around $250,000, I think I want to say. Okay. This area would represent a higher mean value than another area. You know, if you go right, you know, to another area even close by, the average home price wouldn't be as much. So you're going to have extremes that perhaps bring the values up. You're also going to have some extremes that bring it down. So I would say with that, I would go with median. All right, number 20. Can a data set have more than one mode? Yeah, we just showed that, right? How about median? Can you have more than one median? No, you might have two numbers that fall in the middle, but remember we said we average those two numbers, so you're ultimately going to come up with one median in that case. Now it says use the internet to find some real-world data. Which measure of center best represents the data you found? Justify your selection. You didn't have to really use the internet. Did anybody come up with an example here? I saw we had some things written down. Example. Nadia. Good. Yeah, so like, it'd be like how many instruments play? 1, 2, 1, 1, 74, 1, 2, right? That's you're judging it based on that. Yeah. Now you might have some really talented musicians that can play a lot of different ones, but really how many can you play and how many are there? Admittedly, I don't really know how many. Like in like band, orchestra, how many total instruments do you think there would be? I was like 10, you think? Under 15, right? She's counting that. Depends on. Okay. So how many are you counting? How many are you up to? Well, let's say, okay. So she was at like 11. Let's go with a dozen then, okay? But you know, she's saying mean because that may not be enough to bring the average up. I don't know how many people would be playing 12 instruments. You know, I could play 12 instruments. I can't play them well. I can't play any of them well, all right? But I can play them, but I think, like, you're probably thinking how many play them fairly affluently, right? Good. All right, anything else? Another example. Everybody used that instrument example. I figured everybody was going to go that way. I knew that when I assigned this. I was like, I bet you they go instruments. I know it. Frankie? Favorite color. All right. Quick poll. Red. Green. Blue. Yellow. Purple. Pink? Yes. I'm rocking the pink. Yeah. What have I missed? I should have went through the rainbow. Orange. I think we got everybody on.
Yeah, your favorite color is orange. That's weird.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like that's orange.
I don't know. That's a good point.
I feel like that's weird. I don't really think that.
Teal. All right. I think blue won in this case, right? Blue is the most popular. Yeah. Okay. So it says which measure of center best represents. So Frank, you said favorite color. Which one? What would mode? Yeah. That in this case, we just did a quick poll. We'd pick mode. Okay. All right. That sounds good. All right. What we're gonna do today. We're not gonna have any homework tonight, but we're just gonna flip ahead. I want to show you guys quickly, and this is probably going to be a review. but we're going to talk about stem and leaf plots. You guys remember seeing stem and leaf plots before? Nadia has a strong opinion one way. Less strong opinion coming there. Anybody like this stem and leaf besides me? Nobody gets together to hang out with their friends and crank out stem and leaf plots and have a rocking good time? No? Nobody does that? Kids are so different now than when I was little. We used to do that all the time. All right, here we go. Regardless of your opinion, let's write this down. Stem and leaf plots. There's our only definition today. How many of you remember doing stem and leaf plots? Like truly remember them? So we have very strong opinions about something we've never done. That doesn't seem fair. Sounds awfully judgmental, Nadia. Let's give it a chance. All right, so to get us started, I just want to show you, or just highlight this example here. This example shows what a stem and leaf plot looks like. And the data we're graphing here is the number of sit-ups that students in a class can do. All right? Now what it does is it takes and organizes a larger set of data into a table style here, right? And on the left side, you have the stems, which would represent all of the tens digits, all of the digits past the ones digit, really, okay? So in this case, we only have, double-digit numbers. If we get into triple-digit numbers, which you'll see in a little bit, we include the tens and hundreds out here in the stem, all right? If we get into four-digit numbers, then we include the tens, the hundreds, and the thousands out there, okay? So just keep that in mind. And the leaves are all just the ones digits that are left over. So for instance, in this first row here, this number here represents, like this number here, the 3 and the 4 represents 34. So there is one student in the class that did 34 sit-ups. There is one student in the class that did 36 sit-ups. There are 2 students in the class that did 38 sit-ups each. Okay? Second row, I'm measuring. I have one student that did 40. This 4 and the 0 combine to give you 40. Your tens digit, your ones digit. I have one student that did 43, and so on. I have 2 students, if you see out to the right, that did 47 students. So these leaves represent all of the individual data entry that goes into this. So if I said, well, how many people actually participated in this experiment, in this activity, you would count up how many leaves there are. Okay, so I have 3, 6, 9, 12. I have 13 students in this class. And notice, you do have duplicates. If you do have a duplicate, you have to acknowledge it. You can't just say, okay, I already put 38. I don't have to put 38 again. No, you got to include every single digit in there. That's why I was saying with 47 and 50 total. Okay? So from this, I can start asking questions. I can say, all right, well, what is the range of student performance in this data? And you would tell me the range, because everything is organized, would be what? What would it be? 18. The least amount of sit-ups in this group is the smallest one here, 34. Notice how it goes chronologically. It doesn't go 8, 6, 4, 8. It has to go in order. The leaves are all organized in that particular way. So the smallest number, 34, the largest number, 52. Find the difference between them, and so forth. okay? You could find the mean. You could find the median from this. You could find any outliers. This really helps identify outliers because let's say I had something like this, and then I have some superstar up here that did 105. Okay, like Aiden. Aiden's going to crank out 105 sit-ups and ruin the mean for everyone else, all right? But now you can really see, if you look at the gap, you're like, wait, I have 30s, 40s, 50s, and now I jumped all the way to the hundreds. It just becomes a little bit more visual for you. All the data is organized in this particular way, all right? So let's go down here and try one. It's the basic version of it. I've got grades on a science test. I'm assuming these are percentages. Yeah, because it says the key down here. 7/2 means 72%. So the lowest score on this particular test was a 72%. Let's look at this data and attempt to find these 3 data points: the mode, the median, and the range. I'm not going to ask you to find the mean. That'll take a little bit longer. But see if you can get me the mode, the median, and the range. So the median, you would go with, if you're going to say that, and then you would say 86. See if you put the 6 there. So that would be, you got to put the 10s with it. Okay. So when you're doing the mode, or I'm sorry, the median, just make sure you put the 8 with your median, because that's not just a 7, it's an 8. When you're doing the median, I know a lot of us prefer crossing out from end to end, which is a good strategy. This is already organized in that particular way. Just make sure when you're crossing them out, well, actually, I'll show you when we get to that point. What did you come up with for the mode for this set? Or in this case, plural, the modes. Frankie. 72, 87, and there's one more. 100, yeah. Now, 3 modes is not common, but it's possible. If we start getting into 4, 5, 6 modes, in that case, you might start to consider saying no mode at all, because it's not really standing out as being, that different from others. Now, the median, like I was saying, when you start crossing out, the lowest number is 72, the largest number is 100. We start out here. We don't start at the beginning of the line because we go from the greatest all the way down. So 72, cross off this 100. When I cross off this 4, what's the next number I need to cross off if I'm going to employ this strategy that a lot of us do? Mara? 98, right? I go to the back of this line right here. So when I'm working up, I work backwards this way versus this way, okay? Now, when you do all of that, what do you end up getting for your number that falls in the middle? Did you get a number? What do you have? Nadia? Okay, so which 7? 97, 77, 87? 87? Okay, so if I count 4, 8, 11, 14, 17, I got 19 numbers. That's an odd number, so I know that I'm going to have one number that represents the direct middle of that. So if I was counting, like if I wanted to count, does anybody know which number, like which number in the sequence of 19 would be the number that falls right in the middle? Maybe you don't know what I'm asking on that. Like if I said, okay, the first number, the second number, the third number, the fourth number, which number would be right in the middle of 19 numbers? Does that make sense? I don't know if that question. Aiden? Say that again. The ninth number. So if I had 9 numbers, so I got all these numbers, and here's my ninth number. I have 8 numbers before it. Does that mean I'm going to have 8 numbers after that? What do you? Do you want to change that to what? 10th number? Would you guys say 10th number? Well, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to underline that. If I count the other way, that number should also be the 10th number, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right? So that in that case, 87 is your median. Or you could just cross them off. See, I prefer doing this strategy, but if you like the other way, do it. It's fine. What's our range? Range of scores. Cameron? 28. Good. Okay? 28%, and then they all freak out, right? They're like 28. Well, depends on who the class is. So I've had some classes be like 28%, and they're like, whatever. And then I have other classes that would probably start shedding tears right away. All right? All right, let's finish up with this one. So we got the daily temperatures in Death Valley, California. Certainly we do not live in Death Valley. All right? Now here's the thing. We've got some we got some double digit and we got some triple digits. Our stems, if you recall, all go in chronological order down, and our leaves all go chronologically left to right. So tell me, what would be the first stem that we would have in our list here? Brooke? First would be 8, yeah. 10, 11, 12, 13, I agree. The 10 is when you jump from the 90s to 100s. Okay? So what's the smallest number in our list here? After the 8 in our leaf column, you guys are all getting after it here. So what'd you put first? You guys are writing them down. So the first one you have. So we have an 86, exactly. And I would always cross it off there. And it's also not a bad idea. I like to put commas in here just so I can separate the two. And I look at my list, I've got an 87. And then we just continue down. Does anybody have the 90s figured out yet? Mara, what are they? 1 and 7, there's my 7, there's my 1, okay. How about my hundreds? Go ahead, Frankie. Just 1? Yep. So 101, there we go. How about our 110s? Brooke? 1 and 3, that means I have 111 and 113. There's my 111, there's my 113, good. 12s, want to hit those, Cameron? 6. So 120, 120, 125, 126, and it looks like we're just down to a 4, 134. Okay. Now this gives us a snapshot of the data organized this way, and you can kind of make predictions or conclusions from this. Tomorrow we're going to work on doing one of these double stem and leaf plot things. Back-to-back stem and leaf plot, we call them, okay? No homework tonight. We're good for now.